guys, I am Crystal Sky, and today we're getting back into coloring character designs. So I want to do this one live. I don't know if I did the other ones in the video in post-production, or the voicing in post-production. I think I did. But I want to do this one coloring live with you guys. So I'm actually not really happy with this sketch. The marker, or the fine liner that I was using, had a defective nib. So a lot of the lines are messed up. You can see sometimes it's too small, sometimes it's too large. But we're just going to color over it. This is Malos. And for her basic design, we're going to keep with like a very white skin tone, as Malos tends to not leave the house because she's sleeping. And then we're going to go with Shadow Mauve and Lavender for her astral form. And like a duller blue, a duller type of blue for her physical form. So those are the colors that we have here. We're going to keep the skin tone generally the same. I'm using some Copics, some Moohoo, and a Prismacolor marker. All these different types of markers. We're going to start with Eggshell. That's my favorite color to start with for skin. And I'm not happy with these sketches in the least. The fine liner totally messed them up. In my opinion, the hands are just blocks because the fine liner tip messed it up so bad. But that's okay, because I know what Malos looks like because she's an original character of mine. So even if it does mess it up, there's no reason to freak out. It's just a character page, so I can go back and look at all the characters that I've designed. I actually got so frustrated I went out and bought a couple of things at Blick, and I'll show you guys in a little bit what I bought, because I bought a lot of stuff. So I'm going to do a haul video, and that's going to come out tomorrow. So look forward to that. I went all the way up to Tampa, which is really far away. I went to the Tampa bookstore. Oops, colored in the eye there. It's alright. It's fine. We're all fine. Alright, so that skin color is going to dry. We're going to go with a darker type of shadow. We're going to go Milky White, which is next. I'm going to add a little bit of shadow with Milky White. That's not going to be enough shadow to satisfy me. So this is like the lighter shadow. Any sort of light shadow that the character might have, I do in Milky White. This whole leg is shadowed out, whereas this is in the front. Should probably do all of them. I like to do all of the skin colors at once, because skin color for me is pretty hard to do, in my opinion. You can actually see the inconsistencies in some of the designs. She's not yet done yet. She's like not to the point where I would put her in a comic. I've actually started to do the comic pages for Reaps, and his design is essentially finalized. But Malos's comic is gonna take a little bit. So we're gonna shade a little bit darker with Baby Skin Pink. This is gonna shade really dark, so I want to be careful here not to put too much on. I know where I want the shadows. I know where I want it darker. I don't want to overshadow it. Make it look not so good. Because I tend to do that. My shadows are always a little inconsistent. And I find that's alright where I am right now. My 2-year anniversary is going to be coming up in a month or two, I believe. I'm going to have a video for that. So I've been drawing less than 2 years. Still. I checked in my planner the other day. So you can see actually how the shadows are coming up pretty well. And then we're going to add a little pink because, in my opinion, skin colors need a little bit of pink. That's just my opinion though. I'm going to blend this in a little bit. a little bit later. Some of the darker shadows are going to have more element of pink. Just a line here, you don't want to go overboard. Or at least I don't want to go overboard. I'm not to the point yet where I can like say this is how I do things. You know what I mean? That whole leg needs to be more shadowed because it's further in the back. I love all the shadows that come out of this type of shading that I've got going. And then I go back in with Eggshell, which was my starting color. And I just go over, kind of blend it together. Copics are great. They're my favorite kind of marker. I can't afford to get as many of them as I would like, but I really like the way they shade and everything. And though I'm still new to shading and coloring, it actually makes me feel more confident in it. Because I feel like I can get these really cool tones with it that I can't get with any other medium. And I love watercolor and I love paints and stuff like that, but I'm not really good with them as I've just started out. So it's nice to be able to go to something to get consistent color. Alright, so that's going to dry now. So we can put the skin tones back. I like to keep my desk a little more organized. At least I do now that I've cleaned it. You guys can actually see that it's a little bit clean. A little bit more clean. There's still a little stuff over here, but other than that, it's much more clean than it was. There's a trash can underneath here. It's driving me nuts. There we go. Okay. Oops. Let's do the astral colors next. So, Malos in astral form can change any color on her body. She can change her entire self. And she sees no reason why, given this power, she shouldn't. Right? So she goes nuts. She's gonna have a vibrant purple dress and a vibrant purple hair color. And just, you know, purple's her favorite color, so we're gonna go wild with this color. There we go, you know more about Malos now. Her story is very interesting. I've been writing it recently. I'm gonna go to bullet nib here. I've been writing more of it recently, so that might be the next big project I do. I'm not sure yet, but Malos' story is going to be pretty long, and I don't want to commit myself to something that strenuous yet for me. Oh, looks like there was a lot of alcohol in that. So the color didn't go down completely flat, you see. Don't know why. Anyway. Very wet color. Except down at the bottom here where it should be. Alright, there we go. Now it's turning even. I love these Hoo-Hoo markers, but sometimes they just... Sometimes. Then we're going to add some purple, dark purple for highlights. For shadows, I mean. I don't really add highlights to my characters. I do sometimes with a white gel pen, but I'm not good enough yet, in my opinion, to add enough shadows to them. So I try not to mess up the color with too many highlights, as I don't know how to add them correctly. But I do like adding shadows. Like light's coming from here, this way. And the shoe's pretty much going to be in dark shadow too. And then I'm just going to make sure it's blended with this color. It does make the base color a little bit darker. But I love this color. The purples are great. They're fantastic. They look fantastic. It's pleasing to put on the character. Alright, there we go. Let's see how that dries. Let's do the hair of the other color. Oh, that is the dark one. That's alright. Let's start out with the darks. Why not? I am new. I'm not bound to any sort of normalcy, as I would like to say. When you're new and you're learning things, you're not bound to anything. You don't have to do this way because it's correct. You don't have to do it that way because it's correct. You can do whatever you want. That's what's great about art. It's one of the many reasons why I was drawn to it in the first place. Even though I'm new to art and I've been drawing less than 2 years, I still, you know, I still love to do it. And even though I do things a certain way, no one can say, well, that's not right. You can't do it that way because it's art. You can do it however way you want. It's art. But that doesn't, you know, it doesn't excuse you from doing things in a way that doesn't make sense. Common sense is still an issue. Okay. Alright, Malos extra form done. I like the harsh shading. That's kind of what I was going with her character. Because even though she's astral, she's not very, she kind of has a more darker night version. Because astral forms are at night. Alright, now we're going to go with the blue. I was going to give her normal hair color. Originally, I hadn't really fleshed out her character yet. She's very under the thumb of her mother, which is actually the next character design you guys are going to get. It's Malos' mother. And I would think she'd be too afraid to show her personality in hair dye or something like that. As it would, you know, her mother would probably be very angry because of how uptight she is. But I decided that she does have a rebellious streak in her. Because under her mother's thumb that tightly, who wouldn't? And yeah, so I decided to change her hair to a blue color. It also shows her different night and day. During the day she's very blue and somber. And during the night she's purple and agitated. Like a moth to a flame. But again, these are just ideas. She could change by the next time we do her. We could do another Malos character design by the time this sketchbook is done, and she could be completely different. I'm going to give her cool shoes. Let's give her some cool shoes. She deserves cool shoes. With lots of blending. Lots of blending for her shoes. Those colors blended together perfectly. Wow. Look at that gradient. Look at that. Those are all hoo-hoo-hoo markers. Look at that gradient. Mwah. So go back in for some shadow here. I honestly don't like the way she turned out. She's way too thin. I didn't use a model or anything, and that's what happened there. That's what happened there. It happens sometimes with me. I don't want to go over blending and overshadowing, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave her, because I think the blue turned out better than the purple by a lot, because all the markers were juicy. So for her hair, I'm just going to go in and add a couple of shadow hair pieces. Okay, so now for her hair on and her coat for her other faces. As you can see, I only think of a character done when she has consistent character everything, essentially. And Nanami is done because she's consistent. Malos isn't done, she's not consistent. I can't tell if I want to have her ear in front of her hair or if I don't. I don't know what to do sometimes with her design. But I've got her personality all fleshed out, which is good. It's good that that's the thing that I did. We're just going to add a little blue there, yeah. Really like the way that those two colors mix together and intermingle on the paper for her character design. That's definitely two colors that I would like. So what I'm gonna do for this character, because I like these colors so much, I'm gonna put swatches next to here in case I ever bring them into Photoshop and I want to use the colors to pick, if I want to use them on the color picker. So I'll have some palette swatches here. I don't really like the Malos Astro as much, but I'll add them anyway just in case. So I do like the base color, but I don't like the dark shadow color that I use. I should have used a lighter purple, which I don't think I have. Anyway, guys, I bit my tongue there a little bit. It hurt. Anyway, guys, this is Malos. She is a high schooler who can astral project, and her whole family has powers like that, and this, her story is how she lives through this, and all about her family, through her eyes. So next time we're going to do Malos's mom. That's the next character design we're going to do. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.